Satan Unamerican. There is always a counter xenophobia. Does there really have to be xenophobia? Various things come in and out of the tiles of an identity. Where does denial end in the quest to be free from identity? The magician must be authentic as he absorbs, separates. A brief overview of Zoroastrianism. Let's share my comment on that video and some other comments. There is more to Mazda Yasnaha Zarathustraha than the Gabars and Parsis. The numbers of how many are thought to be Kanun Zardosht are as varied as the beliefs that have been grafted on. Who else thinks the graven image of Engiramenu looks cooler than the one of Ahura Mazda? Nauruz and Yalda, in the place of the Western Ostera and Yule, are actually doubtful as to when they were accepted by the communities. Ervad, Mobed, and Dastur may be what Zarathustra meant when he opposed professional priesthood in favor of a nation of priests and priestesses that could do the rituals on their own, and only had the person with the most knowledge or some similar criteria lead. The Achaemenid were the ones who compiled the fragments of their time and paths into a single Persian faith. Parthians were more as powerful kings in trying to recover from the Macedonian conquest, but they were important in the series of revivals during the period where Judaism can realistically be said to have existed in some form, but the Parsi may be right in it being 8,000 years old, because even the 4,000-year-old Avesta shows signs of being composed from something older that is probably of a prior language or linguistic period. Sassanid are accursed for fighting wars of conquest and persecuting even the minorities of their own faith group. Just like Zarathustra before him, Muhammad ibn Abdullah rejected the idea of founding a religion and instead tried to revive the faith of the prophet that taught Islam to the ancient Persians in terms for the international age and last days. A lack of conversion and not figuring out how to have mixed families seems to go against the spirit of religion. Okay. Now, who made the video? How to give your praise, love, and devotion to Damon's spirit's deity? Oh, was that a VK Jehanam one? Because Black Witch Coven does not typically spell it like that. Or was it JD Temple? I don't know. First is loyal surrender to their obligations. Then the worshipped would like the worshippers to do the implied and form some understanding of the context. Voluntary efforts that do not go against the letter or spirit of the covenants is one part of exalt a person, is part of what will exalt a person's station in their path all the much further. I would agree in consistency being essential, but I would also say it is more important than occasional grand gestures. Escape from shaitan, negative thoughts, The metaphysical devils are often the craftiest of demons. A person can gradually become a demon themselves. Jinn and man can be steadfast and build themselves up, or tear themselves down, according to one of the paths or the other. Black Mirror, Lilith, Lucifer, scrying invocation. The demons of error are of the thoughts. But isn't Lilith of the feet on earth, and Lucifer of Venus casting its light on earth? Dark mirrors are as much gateways to water, and I believe what I do ritually. As I pursue the mirth, I will give a better idea of the Grimorium Verum and its hierarchy. Girth. The evening speaks more to me as I set my mirrors in the west, but the north, in the middle of the night, has its extra worth. www. The Demon Evocation. Hi, Savannah. 35 years ago, I was born into my vulgar identity that I do not share on YouTube. The Grimorium Verum would call for more of a lozenge than the Goetia triangle. Saturday night might be said to be that of the sun, unless you mean Sabbath, night before dawn. I sometimes wear clothes only for specific rituals. I personally find that the holy and unholy talk is arbitrary, because the unseen is all holy. You know, the definition of holy, being wholly other. Aside from simplicity, I think that people generally stay away from traditional formulas, from the grimoires, and associated right-hand path traditions, because the curses and the Christian-specific content, graven signs, can be used according to intention, thoughts, and impulses, but a graven image may attract or repel entities anyways. Black Witch S's graphic, when talking about demons, making people uncomfortable, is an awesome choice. I don't feel like I ever have to ground, but like the psychedelics are high of the ritual, naturally fade as I carry out my life outside the ritual. I will, however, record as soon as possible what will, is, or has went on. Andrew Martin has coffee with aliens. Josie Grouse is telepathic, and more. Most can't accomplish in a lifetime what some do in a short period. I thought the separate timelines bit was just a joke on shows or schizophrenia until I heard of the Mandela effect and thought more on false memories and perception problems being part of other conditions. I think most places have the death penalty on the table for sexual assault. Josie Grouse has the face of an angel, if you mean that is her stripper name. Most people don't have thoughts and feelings that are not their own. Even those who received direct revelation from God or inspiration thereby would have known that they still had control, or should, over their own feelings and impulses. Arcturus Raw would be able to get his outfit somewhere other than imported from China, and his ideas that go beyond sci-fi and other fantasy into something that would work, if he was for real. E.A. Quetting gets abducted by aliens. V.K. Jehennem recently came out about alien shamanism. On my responding to the New Age religion playlist, I've got videos that talk about. Oh, I haven't really gone into it that much, haven't I? But their main spiritual master is said to come through, and he's really a space alien. And there's this place that you go where you see. It's a psychic place. It's an egregor built up, but it can attract things. But anyways, I'll get to that at another point. The hard stuff in his neck was probably just bone or cartilage, or even tension over freaking out after watching and reading scary books. I still say Eric Arcalis Coetting's name from his Utah mugshot on my Satan and Satanism playlist. Now, he volunteered it in terms of the interviews, but he, I'm guessing that Eric Arcalis Coetting sounded like a better name for someone claiming spiritual authority on all subjects as the omnipresent, omniscient, omnipotent Cassandra that he claims to be, rather than what he was known as in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The Become a Living God introduction lays out the fact that 20 years included more intoxicant use and paying attention to movies and other fiction than the internet searches and chat rooms he should have been crediting more in his books. Now, he does quote a particular Eckankar book. He quotes some various things, so he does so the books make clear some of his views and sources. In my research for my New Age religion playlist and the 60 or so large programs I've written, but have not shot. Well, I've shot more of them now, and I guess coinciding with the springtime and worldwide seminars, I will be doing a program of 6 or so videos each, half a year. I go over how I was able to manipulate my dreams and visions through psychological techniques rather than by invoking aliens and spiritual masters from all sorts of planets. I know the difference between spiritual and psychological, and sleep paralysis and sleep apnea certainly explains a lot of alien encounters on their own, and Whitley Strieber's epilepsy would have left a lot explained. Had more of us known about it when we read his books years ago. And 2,000 people have seen this in their dreams. Okay, I'll see what I can do here. More have seen Harold Klemp in their dreams, or some other person that they have composed or copied from regular life. There are also familiar spirits and the madness and appearance of demons in dreams. Psychology is not all. People would have viewed my media, have reported seeing me in dreams, but I'm not prompting it like Eckankar and other religious leader-worshipping organizations do. And yeah, comment question, if you've had a dream about my content or a vision or something. 10 lies Protestants believe about Catholicism from a Protestant. I'm trying to get this woman to appear on my channel, but I can't. My comments aren't seen on her live stream for some reason. And it doesn't say I'm blocked. Catholics were the branch of Christianity that Protestants rely on for the lineage of their Bibles and traditions. The Bible indicates that Jesus and God's prophets, Emmanuel's, Dualim, and Messiahs, were not Jews or Christians. The 76 plus other Gospels, other letters, and books that were not fake and may predate those in the canon. I'm just talking about the Gospels. There's 74 books listed in the Bible that aren't included, and that's not talking about the Gospels. Using amulets, graven images as such, and similar behaviors are idolatry and violates the number one commandment. Either be honest about not practicing it, or accept a faith where you can be honest about it. If a scripture is the directly revealed or directly inspired word to God's sent ones, following any portion literally would be out of context. If you disagree with what you think is God's sanctioned system or scripture, that might make one better as a Satanist. Why would God not set down a path that could be followed for the place or time it was sent for? Views and behaviors changing due to exposure to other religions or philosophies proves people find other ways superior, or at least portions of that. Actually, it is only altogether that Christians form the majority of Americans. Other paths will become most soon enough. Yeah, pictures of scantily clad women on the side of my email bar keep distracting me. Actually, the Bible does conflict with science. Established facts. Philosophy of science is different. In many places and with itself. Disciplic succession is all well and good, but it seems that Satan might choose those who more faithfully preserve and pass on his agenda than God's prophets, apostles, and church, according to the Christians. MET 2017 Annual Dinner and Cultural Night. Apologetics is important enough, but as a rule, those authentic about their opinions of others will postpone judgment about a people or faith till they get the facts about behavior and teachings. Christianity's founder in Romans 3:7, 1 Corinthians 9:19 through 23, Acts 16:3, 2 Corinthians 12:16, and more show what a person can fall towards when taking a defensive stance or falling into being involved with outsiders, like one is just another part of the political community rather than of mythology that is superior in every way. And Baneful Magic on Dross. Satanic Chant, Daddy Boy Face. Okay, that's gotta be the next one. Hail Satan